Master functioning. Yeah. All right. Well, this is pretty easy. Unfortunately, passing a bunch of good blue. We'll see what comes back. We're going to take the Sphinx of Foresight, but I'm curious if we get back, like, an eel. This is definitely coming back. But we are sending a lot of blue, blue, green, blue, white, blue downstream. So let's keep that in mind as we take a great starting point, though. And this is, you can just go right into this. We could take Combine Guild Mage and look to go more Simic with this, but I think this is a nice linchpin in this kind of format. We could also take the Spirit of the Spires, and just work the flyer angle from the get-go. But when you can take something like Dovin's Acuity second pick, and you have a first pick like Sphinx of Foresight, it feels like you get to do what you want there. Are you guys getting voting? Yeah, it looks like so. Got one vote for the Spirit. Queen says, I just don't understand 5-hour hype about Dominaria. Hey, Valhalla, it's a good time zone to you. I like Dominaria specifically because while it does have some aggression, the presence of aggressive decks is pretty minimal, and the format really supports going long. And I like formats where there's lots of late mana sinks, where you are saying, all right, I have 12 mana next turn, and it just barely allows me to do this, you know, and I love spending 12 mana thoughtfully on turn 15 or whatever. I think that's not maybe everybody's cup of magic tea, but it certainly is mine, so. Interesting. A lot of Spirit of the Spire support, less so for the Acuity second pick. Figured you'd be all down with going down the cutie path. I think I like taking a build around early when we can. This card's great, but I'm going to take the Acuity and see if we can build towards it. Ill-Gotten Engineer, if we wanted to pivot towards a possible Simic direction. And this rare is solid. Doesn't really align with anything we have going here as a black-red rare. But the effect is good. If we want to abandon our blue, I just don't know how we're playing Sphinx of Foresight and Bedeck in the same deck. But we could also, we are moving towards where we can, like we have 4 Bedeck Bedazzle. So if we take, I think we should probably take it just for the rare drafting. Engineer is good, but there's nothing amazing in here, and this is a free-to-play account, so I'm going to take 20 gems. We'll leave it there, but we're probably well, a juggler here. If that's the best card, it's the best card, and we might set ourselves up to go in a couple directions here, and then try to figure out where we're going. I don't like the Ceratok. We could take the Resolute Watchdog as something that goes fine in the Acuity Foresight package. Or we could take the Blade Juggler in case we are hearing to go this way. We got 2 uncommons here, so let's also check our print run. I'm going to check print run here. Find Ceratok. Ceratok and Watchdog have Skatewing Spy and Rhythm of the Wild. So Skatewing Spy or Rhythm was taken out of this one, which maybe supports like a Blade Juggler pick if we want to avoid Skatewing Spy Rhythm. Hey, Double D's. Oh, camera, thank you. Go to draft view, get out of your way. And where are people at? I haven't seen one. People, I saw some early support for the Courier, but now that we saw what was being taken upstream, everybody's in on the Juggler. I am too. We'll just have to figure out which 2 of our first four cards we're actually playing, because I don't think it's all of them. Dead Revels here for the Bedeck Blade Juggler package, or Slimebind for the Acuity Foresight package. Even though Slimebind does not trigger Acuity, it is at least playable in that deck. Then we also have the Vampire, which straddles both and would be we could take the Vampire and basically be sure we're going to play it no matter which way we break, but it's not the strongest card here. We could also take the Gate and end up working towards something more Espery. And I see support for Slimebind and Grudian, and if we're into that choice, I'm going to go with Slimebind. That's where I was leaning. Big 7, Essence Capture, probably the pick. I also, again, am looking at this Gate and looking at Couriers and wondering if we'll see a high alert where we wish we had Couriers. First vote is in for the 7-drop, but the big finisher is a pretty replaceable piece for me here. I don't feel the need to pick something like this up now. Even though this is fine. This is a fine 7-mana play. I think this is a replaceable thing, whereas Capture is something that fills the earlier slot in the curve. So I would rather fill the earlier slots here. I like the Gate. The Gate has some support as well, but I'm going to take the Essence Capture. Here's a High Alert and a Sphinx's Insight. So now we can either take the High Alert and start really kind of trying to make that a thing, or just take the Insight, which works with the Acuity plan we already have. I'll see where chat wants to go on this one. I could see leaning into the build around we already have, or picking up a new build around and seeing which way it breaks from here. But I think it's definitely High Alert or Insight. And let's go check print run anyway. I'm curious what's around the High Alert. High Alert has Dovin's Acuity, Combine Guildmage above, and Shark to Crab and Cry of the Carnarium below. This is probably Shark to Crab and Combine Guildmage, which suggests we should be avoiding Simic, but Azorius does look nice and open for us, so I think we're in a good place with Azorius. And let's see where people are at. Ooh, neck and neck. Neck and neck, but Insight is pulling ahead. Double D's wants to watch the High Alert deck do its thing. And we do have good time to build around it. Oh, Intangible? Well, up in Canada, at least you're prepared for it. I'm sure your region is ready for it. Yeah, wow, this is an interesting 50-50 neck and neck. I'm going to take the High Alert. I'll take the High Alert. Give us a chance to go in either of these directions based on what's coming up here. That was a close one. Carnival Carnage, trying to pull us back towards something along these. We're not playing this, but I'll keep this on the off chance we splash it. And I've only had a couple chances, Wujo. Neckforders says, yeah, you talked about changing the traditional draft format from 5 games to 3 because a lot of people don't really want to play that many games with the draft deck. I talked about that? I think you're thinking of somebody else. I haven't supported that. I am generally in favor of more bang for buck as a customer, and if they reduce the number of games I get to play when I play in an event, then I would hope there would be a commensurate reduction in entry cost, or some other adjustment. Because for me, it's about if you look at my spreadsheet, I measure things in gems per game. Gems per gems per match. Or per game, I think per game really is how I do measure it. And so, yeah, that sounds like a Ben Stark thing. I hear that from pros. That's very classic. Like the other person I've heard say that they would like to see a reduction in the number of games you play with a given deck is my friend Charles Wong, who said who also felt the way Ben Stark does, that just like by the end of a draft he's kind of bored with his deck. But I think that maybe, I don't know, do you all feel that way, that you like, let's assume they did it so that the cost per game was exactly the same. Would you prefer fewer games with your deck? If the cost per game was the same, I wouldn't mind a reduction, but I also don't mind getting to know a deck. I mean, by playing a lot of games, you get to actually see the rare you drafted it, at some point, that kind of thing. Yeah, Rakdos. Anyway, let's back to this pick. There's support for the consign. If we put this back into consideration, I think it would be pretty difficult to abandon these 5 picks. But if Rakdos is wide, we could take it. And if we do end up in... If we're like, okay, Rakdos is super open, we gotta go, then we'd rather have this. So I'm actually going to take the Carnival, because this is our only opportunity cost in the deck we're likely to end up in here is this Officer, which is no big deal. I'm willing to give up this playable for the blue-white deck on the long shot chance that we are really driven into Rakdos by bots. So let's just take this and see what happens. Okay, this is our opening pick, and all that beautiful blue is gone. Not even the Humongulous is still here, so that's actually a pretty terrible sign. We do have a Arrester's Zeal, but it could mean that we should be actually like taking the Roustabout here. I'm not sure how much we should be panicking at this point, because there was a lot of blue and Simic cards, blue Azorius and Simic cards in this pack, and they're basically all gone. So the Zeal is the obvious pick, but we may regret not just taking the Roustabout and being prepared to pivot into the open color here. And I'm going to do it. Again, this is a opportunity cost decision here, where I don't find this card particularly valuable in a Skies deck, and so I'm going to keep this possibility open. Now it's time to pick we can't, even though this would go in that side plan, I don't want to take it here because passing on playables to keep this side plan possible has lowered our playable count, so we should take one of these 3 white-blue playables in this pack. And which one? Might just be the Humongulous, or if we're pretty aggro about our white, we could be Quench. Quench would be okay. If we're going a little bit longer, pivot to the high alert creature. Yeah, that's true. Take the high alert creature. What am I thinking? Wujo thinks I don't ever build a proper Acuity deck. Apparently I'm not building a proper high alert deck either. To that end, we could take this as a sad playable. Ill-Gotten Inheritance, though, is the kind of thing I'm talking about. The keeping our eyes on this Rakdos openness. But at some point, you got to commit. But 10th District is so bad, we'll take it. This is weird. Weird first pack, but that one was at least obvious. We got the Vampire back and we could take it, but since we have High Alert, we're probably not running the Vampire in the deck anyway, but we'll take it. It's at least playable in both of the things we're doing. Who knows what we're doing? Look at this. Accidental Rakdos. Put that there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards for that, and so that leaves 8. Yeah, we're 8 and 8. right? There's nothing in the sideboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Feral Maca is not good, but we would absolutely play it in if we did pivot to Rakdos. So, and then let's take a look at what we have here. So we are really split after one pack. I wouldn't say this is Dimir and RNA, Wujo. I would say this is more 4-color chaos. So waiting for some votes to come in because I think this is a very interesting pick. Thank you for not voting for the biogenic upgrade. We're not going to do that. I think people have it properly narrowed. It's either a Night Arbiter or a Vampire or Hallowed Fountain, and we get 20 gems. Just take the 20 gem pick for the free-to-play account as well. We do need to consider that. We're winning at a rate where we don't have to be like desperately gem grinding, but I do want to demonstrate that capability here at least. So keep that in mind. We have 4 Hallowed Fountains already, so the fountain is just straight 20 gems if we wanted to click on it. But looks like there's support for the Night Arbiter and heading down, continuing down this white-blue path. We would actually play the fountain. All right, we'll take it. I'll be in it for the stream quality, not the gem quality. But we should do that sometimes, for sure. Sky Tether seems good here. Don't have a gate to like splash a Thrall or anything yet. Hopefully wheel the Pegasus, maybe. But let's commit. All right, we are done with Dreams of Rakdos. I don't think we're Esper yet. If we find the gates that we want to take, we will consider bringing some of the black back in. But right now, we're nowhere near adding black to this deck. So let's focus on the Blue-White Skies approach. We got a Angel with no gates yet, but we could absolutely add enough to make this palatable to good. But there's also Summary Judgment that just adds some cheap removal, which tends to be... You know, what we want to do is kill their stuff on the, kill their 4-drop for 2 mana so that we are outpacing them in the air and with our unblockables. So as much as I would like an Angel, I think the Judgment is more important to the success of this deck. So we're going to take that. Admonition also helps, does a job we're looking for. I keep seeing Orzhov gates that I would like to take, but I'm just not going to pass an Admonition. I don't know if you can really be an Acuity High Alert deck, we'll see, but we're focusing on the High Alert side, but it's worth noting the Admonition is just straight up good and happens to combo with Acuity. So if we get enough things that are good and combo with the Acuity, we'll still play it, but we don't know if we're playing that yet. Gateway Sneak. Skittering Eel, exposed to daylight. No gates yet, but the Sneak is fine just as a threat to connect and a threat to drop a gate, and I hope we end up with some gates before this is over, so I think I like the Sneak here. You want the Eel? Eel is solid, but yeah, Sneak also does combine with High Alert, but I think mainly it's just about the threat of connection. Azorius Locket. Red is wide open, or we can take the Inheritance for the possible splash, but we're not splashing an Inheritance in this deck, so this is probably just a Locket pick at this point. Here's a gate we can pick up. I like it better than grabbing a Zeal, a Clear the Mind, or a Commando. We do have a Sneak to be thinking about as well now. Don't like really any of these cards, but I could see playing a Zeal And it is even a possible acuity combo if you want to do the flight trick with it. So we'll take it. I don't love it. Hope we don't play it. And we get the Pegasus back, which was one of the hopeful wheels. But note all the blue cards are gone. Like, we are really competing for blue cards in this draft. Pegasus or the Gateway Plaza. We're not really even trying to get a third color yet, so I don't want to clog up our mana flow with a land that basically costs 2 mana to play. So I'm going to we'll take the Pegasus. And, oh, this is the pack. I was thinking these were, maybe it was this pack that I was thinking of. The Duelist is great and would love to play it, but I do want this, you know, a second gate is no joke with the sneak and really setting us up to be able to then pretty easily splash something great in black. The Duelist does get a slight improvement off of High Alert, but it's not really a reason to get excited about the Duelist. It's just nice that that happens to make it a little better. The Duelist does some work. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of creatures, it's true. Alright, let's look at curve. We need 2 mana. We're alright on 2 mana. We would cast these on 2 as needed. And we have some 1s. Yeah, I really want the gate, but I guess we just have to take the Duelist. Another wrong spot for a gate. Look at this. We'll take that and really try and make the gate thing a little more pronounced next pack. Exposed to Daylight is a nice pickup here. Having that on the board is excellent. Twilight Panther could end up playable depending on where it goes from here. We could rare draft. We only have 1 of these, so we'd have to spend some rares to make that cashable, but I'd rather just take the Skyguard. So good. Skyguard's good. Oh, East of 84. I don't know if you meant wrong spot for gate, like the gate was out of order in the pack, or that you wanted to take the gate but it wasn't the right place for it in the, you know, in terms of our pick order. But I read it as the latter and responded that way. We're going to take Skyguard here, though. There's another Tether, a Judgment, a Splashable a Grotesque Demise, and we have 2 amplifiers. So if we wanted to go craft a couple of amplifiers with our 26 rares, we could take this and get 20 gems as well. So if we're happy with our deck and feel like it's going to come together fine, we could go and make some gems. Chat is split between the 2 removal spells. Judgment getting a little more support than the Tether at this point. I don't know about that. Depends on how much we're trying to win with evasion, I suppose. And we have things like Humongulous and Vampire, so we do want to get through on the ground. We're also doing things like Slimebind anyway. It's not that weak. It's fine. This deck's fine. Alright, I'll take the Judgment, though. That's what chat is down for. Chili Bee versus its uncommon counterpart. Conventional wisdom is Chillbringer is better than Windstorm Drake, but we are in a Skies deck that would get more... Skies-ish deck that would get more value out of a Windstorm Drake than an average deck, so it does bump up towards Chillbringer in this one. Let's see. Let's take a close look at our flyers if we're considering a pick like that. Especially keep in mind that the +1/+0 on Windstorm Drake is actually a non-bow with High Alert. It does not... it doesn't increase the power. It really doesn't do anything for creatures with High Alert. I'm going to take Chillbringer. Too good. Admonition or an off-color gate. Half-color gate, rather, not off-color. We'll take another admonition here, I think. That's just solid. I don't know if we're going to play that cutie, but I'm not worried about it. We actually have the room to take a land here. We need gates for some of our gate stuff. Insight or eel. This is a real pick here. This maybe we need to figure out if we're actually playing the cutie or not. I've actually started, kind of like the dog out of the board till we understand how they're removing creatures and where we're getting clogged. So a cutie. If we play a cutie, right now we're looking at 1, 2, 3. We're not playing this. Let's not pretend we're playing a Zeal. So 1, 2. Is that it? 3, 4. 4. 4 is close. You might get lucky with it. No, they're never, we're never doing that main phase, right? Not ever. So that doesn't even count. So right now we've got 4. This would be 5, which I think makes it playable. We could use an eel, though. We're low on 4s, and just a nice solid drop like this would go great here. But this is something to do on 4 as well. So now I'm going to go back to this view and see where people have landed after that little assessment. How much mana do we have to splash the payment? We have 1 Orzhov Guild Gate, and maybe we'll pick up another one here. We're not sure, but I don't remember what gates. No, we didn't see one early in the pack, so I don't think we're going to get one to wheel, but we might see one in the next couple. I don't think we take payment at this point over just the insight, but if we pick one of these up, we'll get there. All right, let's do that. I'm happy to try that. And then there's another sneak, which is fine. Not seeing any more gates, though, so our gate game is pretty low here. Intangible, have I considered grinding ranked draft to top 1k at all? Not really. What am I trying to do? Spike my way onto the Mythic Championship or something? Like, if that happened, cool. I'm going to take my shots. Like, if there's local qualifiers and that kind of thing, I'm going to take those types of shots at high-level competitive play. But the angle I've kind of gone with on my stream is looking at this more from an economic perspective and how to approach Magic the Gathering Arena as an arcade game for Magic drafting and how to approach it with that mindset. And in that case, we don't really care what our rank is and what our number is until they produce a reward for the rank that makes that chase worth it given our goals on this stream. In particular, it's extremely tough for me to grind my way in rank to the top or near the top when I'm playing on 2 accounts heavily, 3, even a third lightly, and am a father of 2. Like, my life doesn't support too much play beyond what you all see on stream. Like, one of the reasons I decided to start streaming is that I'm gonna play a certain amount of Arena every day anyway, because I love this game. And so if I can just figure out how to put my Arena play and broadcast it instead of just doing it at night before I go to bed or whatever, then I get extra value out of my Arena play. And so that's kind of what motivates me, and not going for some high rank. It all, it's like I'll also look at the marketplace I'm competing in as a streamer. I'm surrounded by the top players in the world, all competing for your eyeballs with me. And I just don't think I'm going to find my audience or distinguish myself in a crowded field by chasing that particular ring, because that's a ring others are already heavily chasing. Here, maybe we just quench, and this is a more tight early game kind of deck. Yeah, I guess so. It's like Quench or the Officer. I don't like either of them. Here's another Daylight for the board. Really ran out on the gates, so our gate presence is extremely low. Before I leave the draft, I want to check on... I didn't check on the rare we drafted. So let's see, we have Foresight. And we ultimately didn't draft any other rares. So I want to go and see if we need to craft some of these. Wow. Looks like we have 0 of them. So we could use up 4 and still get the 20. We have a lot of rares to work with. I don't usually do it from 0, but I'm going to do it from 0 here. Let's turn these into some gems. Oh, right, Bedazzle also, but we already had 4 of that. So we'll get the Bedazzle without doing this. I'll check just to make sure. But yeah, we already have the 4. Hallowed Fountain we did not take. So there's the 40 gems. We make this go away. And I'm going to go update my gem grind here. Let's do one here. We'll call it 40 on the grind. We are on 2019, 03, 04. All right, let's see about cuts. We have 2 cuts to make. Let's check our numbers. 12 creatures, 13 non-creatures. Are we playing both High Alert and Acuity? Acuity, we ended up with 5, right? Well, we have long shots like Essence Capture and Quench in the deck as well, but at its core, Sphinx's Insight, 2 Admonition, 2 Judgment are the things that can trigger an Acuity. You only need to do it once or twice before it's good. And if you only cast the Acuity and never bounce it back, it's meh. It's bad, right? 1 white, blue, gain 2, draw a card is not something I'd give like that a D minus to that in a set review. So you really do need to trigger at least once before you're happy. But I think we're likely to do that, so we could run it. And I don't love Quench if I can help it. We can help it. And Vampire is a little... Let's check the High Alert. Angel gets better. These 2 get much better. These 2 get much better. This gets worse. Better, better, much better, better. Yeah, we could put the dog back in. I have found, though, that there are some matchups where the dog is so bad that I don't like running it main. But it does work with High Alert such that maybe this is a place to run it main. But I am really happy to take it out. Yeah, Wall gets really good. Yeah, let's run it. Let's run the High Alert. But then what are we cutting here? Vampire. Quick explanation of the print run. MTG Arena limited boosters have a fixed order in which the uncommons appear in them. So if you have 1 or 2 uncommons remaining in a pack, by looking up the remaining uncommons and in this print run, you can see with 100% certainty which card or possible couple of cards were taken out of a given pack from your right. And obviously, understanding what a bot has taken out of a pack before passing it to you is incredible information. If you were to lean over and look at someone at what they picked in a paper draft, that would be cheating. Like, basically, the print run feels like cheating, because it kind of is. But it's not our fault. And we want Wizards... I want Wizards to fix it. I don't want to have to look up print runs every time. But while they exist, those who do it have a huge advantage because they understand what the bots upstream explicitly are saying. And those who don't are just suffering a disadvantage. Intangible, you do not need creatures to cast an Essence Capture. Blue, counter your creature spell is just fine. You can do... Here is the... Here's the print run for this set, but basically it's a community thing you can find on Reddit. Thank you, Hey Vandy. Appreciate it. Got my hair cut. Actually, if you were around watching a week ago when the stream went down out of the blue, I went and got a haircut with my son with the inability to stream after that. Okay, let's finish this up and get playing. So we are going to run both of our little combo pieces. I think we have enough going on to support both of them, but that means we need to pull something else. And I don't know what it is yet. I guess it could be the Locket. Locket's kind of the odd card out here. Accelerating to these wouldn't be bad, but it's not like necessary. And we're kind of doing card draw through Acuity. Thank you, Intangible. Good luck with work. So we'll call this the double special. Maybe high acuity. How about that? High acuity. And colors, we have 8, 9 blue and 7, 8, 9 white, so that's perfect. And we will run this without black to support the Angel and the Sneaks. It's not great, but we'll still run it. I like, even though the Angel is pretty weak on our gate count, I like it better than, you know, running the Locket back or whatever. Twin Engines is good, I like that. Let me print screen it. So just so you all know, if you look at the spreadsheet, and I'm going to go left monitor on you for a second so that we can look at it together. So obviously you can go here and look up Gem EV, and I still have updating to do. People have helped me like weeks and weeks ago with formulas I can do to differentiate between best of 1 and best of 3 match win percentage. I'll get to all that, but I did want to show what I've been doing here, which is I have a YouTube channel now that you can check out, and also, you know, I'll paste it for you as well. And now when I post, so what I do is trim out the draft to end moments of a draft and then put it on YouTube. And now I'm linking to the YouTube videos within the spreadsheet itself. So if you're like, oh, he went 5-1 here, I kind of want to see that one. It was it was Orzhov, so I'm curious about that. You can just click here and actually go watch the YouTube video from there. So that's something I got a little more straightened out this weekend. And let's go to the battlefield view. There's a rat burglar for you. And I'm going to close... Actually, move these over here. And let's see, we got free-to-play 1 is correct, RNA best of 3 is correct. Our record, we could only hope that we make it to 4-1. Right now, 0-0. Grizzy, thank you for the sub. Why does it play that sub? Why didn't you get a rat burglar for that sub? Clearly, I still have things to figure out about here, but here, I'm going to give you a rat burglar.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rat burglar.
Can't keep this, unfortunately. We can keep that, though. That looks good. And we'll keep the gate. Both gates for our angel, but unless we go, like, land... Yeah, I'm not going to do it. We're just going to play both our gates right off the bat. We have no ability to get our sneaks through gates right now, but... Boy, that's... Guild Gate... The Orzhov Guild Gate is just... brain rattling with the bells. Perfect start for aggro Orzhov over there. Gate into Grandma into Juggler. You really just can't write it up any better than that, and we're doing nothing over here. Can't hit the Grandma if we wanted, and now we're going to have to use a Judgment on a Blade Juggler that's already drawn our opponent a card, but we got no choice. We can't just sit around and take it. You could argue we might draw a land and then Humongulus could come down and totally lock it down, but I wasn't willing to risk that. We will, however, try to make the stabilization play here. At least we know it can't be countered and can't be targeted, so they need that target player sacrifices a creature spell to be able to get rid of it right now. Alright, well... Gateway Sneak not getting through anytime soon. Might as well bring the Chill and lock down the Panther, and then we can even attack with the Humongulus based on Oppo's decisions here. I thought about trying to figure out a way to deploy the Sneak and then use some combination of, like, our remaining cards to get the Sneak through, but that just didn't seem... Oh, and I didn't give you a Chili meme, sorry.
All right, everyone, chill.
So much worse when it's late, I apologize. Well, we're not really trying to win on the ground, so I'm not sure I like using the Judgment on the Panther, even though we have that opportunity here. I kind of want to go Admonition, find a land, and try and get the Sneak down. But we only have one blue, so that's another consideration. There's only one blue play to make a turn here. I'm going to play the Sneak then. Let's make them either remove the Sneak. We can attack, though. They've continued to show no willingness to attack into a 2-5 or whatever with their 2-1, so this Sneak will probably be, or they, probably be fine. I guess they removed it, so we don't know if they have a trick. They just actually killed the Chillbringer, so I don't have any data on whether Grandma is actually can be backed by a trick here or not. Now we have some data, because Grandma's not attacking, so it looks like no tricks. And we got our extra blue. I'm inclined to just Angel here. And maybe there's, again, this becomes our plan A, just winning through the air with Angel. And we use Judgment and Admonition to protect that plan. Obviously, we can't use those spells right now. We're tapped out. Wow, double Mortify from Oppo, so they've got a really great-looking Orzhov deck here. Trumpeter's so-so, but everything else has been very high quality. And what can we do? If we Admonition the Panther... Nah, I still can't really attack. We should Admonition, though, to keep going through our deck. And in case we find a high alert, suddenly we can attack. So I'm actually going to bounce the Panther, since that would be the thing that would still make us not want to attack if we draw high alert. Now we'll Shimmer. Alright, what do we want from there? Another Sneak, Admonition, Duelist, Tether. None of those are really amazing. Sneak's not really getting through. We have no more gates for it. Tether needs flyers before it's really effective. Probably just Admonition. Well, you know, the Sneak to what... I guess if we do take a second Sneak, we start to be able to threaten to attack, but yeah, we have no more gates, that's the thing. So I'm just going to take the Admonition. It's not great, but it replaces itself and is annoying. We're also using up our instants for the eventual Acuity. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 of our 5 instants. So Acuity has no chance to be really great this game. Unless we, like, draw it now and can activate it a couple times. Burning Tree Vandal? I'm on it.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
You know, I'm going to hold the Admonition here. Maybe I should be worried about maybe a splashed Carnival or whatever that could make us discard. But I think we're pretty stable based on how Oppo is behaving. This Humongulus is doing some good work here, and I'm going to play a little more of a patient game and not cycle the Admonition and give us a few more chances to either do something more useful with it or find the Acuity and combo with it a little bit. Panther is really the only thing that has a good attack on us without a trick or removal from Oppo, so we're going to just accept the plinking of the Panther until we can find some better stuff. We might have to judge that if they attack with the Acrobat, or perhaps send it back. Okay, we got High Alert. And with Arrester's Admonition, we could probably send in... No, they're just going to offer to trade with the Spike Wheel Acrobat for now. We probably have to bounce or kill the Spike Wheel. I'm going to pass for now. And see if the High Alert makes them, or see if they get aggressive with the Acrobat, that kind of thing. Their deck has some great high end, but I question the red so far. Red just the Rakdos side of their deck. Maybe they just had to do what you got to do, but all right, they've really built out their board, but are still not finding an attack through. They're going to try with the Thrall coming up, and we'll probably have to use the Judgment on the Thrall then. Which is too bad. Interesting that they didn't come in with the Acrobat. Bouncing Thrall doesn't seem great. Although attacking... If the Acrobat wasn't there, I would be inclined to try and find some way in, but we don't... Between the Panther and the Acrobat, we don't really have attacks, so we just need to stay back and try to use these tools. I don't want to use the Admonition right now. Yeah, Oppo's deck is a mess, but it could still be a problem for us if we don't get a little more action here. I like our ability to handle an attack here, though, with certainly the Judgment. Oh, they're going to start doing that. Okay. Yeah, these are some of the attacks I was kind of expecting. So what are we going to do about this? We can judge the Acrobat. We can trade the Sneak for the Acrobat and allow the Homunculus to continue to hold the ground against all the other stuff. We then play something else, but they can double activate the Trumpeter, so that's a real thing. If they do that, we might consider bouncing the Trumpeter with the Admonition. The Sneak is not realistically getting through anytime soon, so I think we do take that trade. We're going to offer the Sneak for the Acrobat, and then we're going to see what Oppo does in terms of pumping and decide on Judgment. Interesting, they're not looking to pump their Trumpeter at all? I wonder what they're going to cast. What must be up here if they have no interest in Trumpeter activations? Well, okay, we gotta do this now. Interesting. Are we being sniped? That's like a snipe level. Like, why? Yeah, to go no activation on the Trumpeter. Maybe they forgot, and then by giving them another window, we allowed them to remember? Possible, I guess. Another Vandal.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
Now, let's see. They've still got the activation of the Panther. That's the problem. If they didn't have the Panther, I would attack in and try to do Admonition tricks with that kind of situation. That's a little weird. Like, if you're gonna... Right, I'm just saying they didn't pump. They were saying, that's fine, go to damage. And they only said, no, I'll pump after I said, wait, I'm gonna kill the Thrall. That's a little bit odd. But, as said, maybe they were just actually worried about exactly what we had, getting blown out in response to pump. So, it makes some sense. So, what are we doing, though? I think we need to draw now. We're getting too far behind. So given that, actually, let's bounce the Panther, then we can attack with the Homunculus. Yeah, Menace guy, we're in bad shape all over the place. I guess that reveals would have prevented more damage. I was trying to find a way to actually also do some attacking, which we get to do. Yeah, well, I was drawing a card. The idea was we were not going to be dead on board after I drew a card, but let's face it, we were flooding out and in bad shape against Oppo. Could have gotten one more turn if I bounced the Trumpeter, but we did not have the tools to come back from this one. Hey, Banana Jack. Welcome. I don't think there was anything we could have bounced there that actually saved that game. So, Weirdo Aggro. And a Mardu Aggro from Oppo. And can we go cheaper for any positive effect? Because they're aggro, I kind of don't want to play Quench. I think they start to have the mana to pay for that pretty quickly. We're pretty low on things to even swap here. I don't know why y'all want to keep adding black stuff. 1 mana kill spell. Like, we're not playing. We have a single Azori Guildgate. We are not playing black. Here, let me help you. Here's your choices. And I don't consider the Panther particularly playable here. You could maybe play a Zeal and try to win some combat instead of something on the more expensive end of things. Banana Jack, we have enough that the High Alert is worth playing. Angel out. I don't know. That's life gain. We are gonna, like, it's not like we have a ton of sixes. We just have two sixes and 3 5s. Like, mostly our deck is cheap, so I'm not worried about our ability to interact. I'm gonna fire this off before I run out of time. No, I don't take out High Alert since they have 2 Mortify. The Mortify is premium. If they don't get the High Alert, they get our best creature, right? Like, we are thankful that they use their Mortify on a High Alert instead of our best creature or something. I get it. The 4 life didn't help. East, come on. That is a terrible argument. That 4 life in that one game didn't change the outcome of that game, therefore take that card out is not a salient argument. I hear your point, though. Your point is it's expensive and the life is not that impactful and we are not going to actually get that much life out of it in general anyway. We got lucky again. It doesn't change your point. But I think a 3/4 flyer in this deck, there wasn't anything I felt was going to help us win more, increase our win percentage by taking that Angel out and putting something else in is the bottom line. Get Pegasus out, get High Alert going. I hear you. Well, let's ask that question. If we draw the Angel, we'll ask ourselves, and again, it's I don't want to be guilty of the same thing I was just kind of calling you out for. Data points are data points. They're still fun. Like, when I have a choice like that, like East wanted the combat trick instead of the 6 mana Angel, and so let's ask ourselves in this game when we would be wanting the combat trick versus the Angel, and see if that helps update our opinion at all. can go Guildgate here. I'll trade the Duelist for the Acrobat. Or possibly just try and eat the Panther. We can do it either way. And either way, we shrink the Panther. Well, not either way. I guess if... yeah. I guess we're winning through the air. Let's just try and stop this big ground thing. Yeah, Shrink Panther trade Acrobat was my plan, but they used Bedevil to thwart it. And trying to figure out whether we're bouncing or just sneaking. I think we're attacking, though. And 5 mana. I suppose we could admonition it into something we could actually cast. But we could also sneak and look to try to admonition the sneak through next turn. The trouble is that has us taking 5. I think I want to keep racing, but do so through bounce here instead of trying to worry about sneak. Chillbringer is a nice draw. Rolling over the Pegasus, okay. Taking a turn off to do that is actually pretty good for us. Because we can Chillbring. And we could Night Arbiter as well. But that doesn't actually make a faster clock than the Chillbringer. And the Chillbringer can tap down the Panther to make Acrobat not Spectacle. So I'm going to do that.
All right, everyone, chill.
I talked about that when I fired up the stream. I'm really anti-sealed. I think it's a gem, a destroyer of gems. And
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up the stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
but obviously I do like Dominaria. It's just that I don't particularly want to do a ton of it because it's too gem hungry. We'll go ahead and put out 2 lethal creatures. Hope it's good enough. That being said, I won't do. I might do some on the paid account. I have not done any Ixalan drafting as of yet. They showed some instant speed removal, so that's another concern for something like the Zeal. We do set ourselves up for possible blowouts that we have no chance but to try and go for, which I don't love. Did we see anything to expose to daylight from their side? Didn't see any ill-gotten inheritance, but it's probably lurking in there. Wouldn't be surprised. Could bring in the vampire. It's a non-bow with the high alert, but if this is a racy kind of situation and we drop the vampire before the high alert and it trades, that's a really good result for us. Again, let's narrow this to what we can actually... Zach, that's kind of what I'm doing, Zach. I don't see any reason to use my gold right now. So then we come back to Angel versus Zeal, which was one suggestion from chat. But with we saw 2 Mortifies and the rare removal. I'm not going to bring in a combat trick against 3 known devastatingly good 3-mana instant removal spells. That just seems wrong, so I'm going to stick with this. I admit the Angel is not great, but getting blown out by instant speed removal is also not great. House is going into chilly mode. Double up on my outerwear, indoor outerwear. All right, these work together. Need some more land, blue especially, but this is keepable. Oppo's snapped it to 5. Wow. Is there some lag, or it just went zoom zoom? Well, not the right color yet in terms of being able to cast Essence Capture, but now we can open on an Acuity and get max value out of that this game. They may mortify it, but that's, again, you know, an acceptable result. But actually, we will start with the sneak. Gotta make him have it. If we can get in for a freebie, that would be amazing. No freebies. No freebies at all. And I'm going to go ahead and do the Acuity. We may have to take 5, but we'll get 2 of it back right there, and we'll get another 2 of it back when we kill the thing and bounce it again. So we're going to no attack here, though. We have 5, Queen. We have 5. So not amazing, but I thought 5 was right on that line. I think if we'd had 4, I might have passed. And I'm not counting Essence Capture. I'm counting legit main phase instance like Summary Judgment. Looks like Mortify is coming for the Acuity here. Or the Sneak. They gotta choose. Well, maybe now they have 5 mana, so maybe they can do something about that. Okay. Okay. Not amazing, but we can tether that. Let's do Judgment on the 5/2. Yeah, I like Judgment Tether. I'm just trying to figure out what we're tethering and what we're judging, because we can wait and... No, we can't instant judge the spawn of Mayhem. So I'm just going to do it. We'll take out this. Bring back the Acuity. And then tether. And our flyers hopefully then can do the job upcoming. Oppo really doing a great job of recovering from a mold of 5. And I'm going to risk the Acuity. Really want to find a land, a non-gate land. Well, if we find a gate, at least we can potentially attack with the Sneak, although I don't think we have the the maneuvering room, we could take the Sphinx to be able to stonewall the juggler, but then the acrobat still gets to attack. I'm going to go cutie and look for land. No land. That's trouble. That's real trouble. Might have to actually chump with the sneak now. But that high alert allows us to trade. Let's see what happens here. We're at 17. We're still pretty high life total. Maybe. Can we really take 8, though, and go to 9 against this deck? If we do, what's the plan? We untap and play high alert, and then we're trying to play more defense? That doesn't seem right. I think we have to do a chump here. All right, got some land. This is great. We can chili. We cannot do anything and leave the essence capture up. So really it's high alert with the duelist or humongulous to just really have something they can't remove, which is nice. But chili comes down and really puts that 5 in its place for a couple of attacks here. So let's just do that.
All right, everyone. Chill.
Hope they don't have the Mortify. Good news, they didn't have the Mortify. Alright, we're slowly getting some answers, though. Can we duelist? We can Sphinx and duelist. Let's do that, then. Hey, Oni. That is good news. Good news, everyone! Oni is here. All right, well... really need this to work. And I'm not going to mess around. We're also going to chump and not go to 4 here. Hey, Dionysus, welcome. We're hanging in, having some fun. Trying desperately not to lose to this weird aggro deck going on from Oppo. If we keep the land, we get Essence Capture plus Humongulous, which actually could be good here. So I'm going to keep the land and do that. We still have to worry about the clock we have here, of course. That's, you know, weighing heavy on my mind. But we do get to start to potentially do some damage here, especially if we Essence Capture something effectively here. Really want this Essence Capture to do some work. We need it to do work right now. All right.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up the stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
Yeah, we can do tricks like that, but we're just going to happily do this. And... really probably want to make a... we're going to increase the power of our big flyer, because this is actually going to be what wins us the game if we can get there. Great. They stopped attacking. Watchdog is definitely keepable here. And we don't need to cast the high alert yet because everything we have does the job we want it to do without actually attacking, dealing damage equal to its toughness. So we're going to play Angel. Well, trouble is we go Angel Watchdog. We don't have the Watchdog activation. So we could do high alert Watchdog. But I want to get extra creatures out. So we're going to go shields down on actual Watchdog activation for a turn. And make sure we get a couple of creatures out here to hold the line so that our Sphinx can actually do some attacking. Yeah, we could play high alert and basically have our defender be our attacker, but I like this. This gets us all dumped out onto the board. Next turn we get to high alert and have the Watchdog available and the untap available, so we kind of get it all at that point. And we're actually just presenting lethal, so there's that. No longer. No longer. Shoot, that was a great, perfect draw for them. Slimebind, what does that do for us? Slimebind lets us attack, make them think they have lethal, and then we bind the Thrall if they try to attack with anything. Yeah, we keep this. Maybe we don't even play the high alert here. Do we need to? And bounce Dovin with what? What was I supposed to bounce Dovin with? Oh, you like dig for something that bounces Dovin? I think we're fine. I think we're actually okay here. Yeah, let me focus on the line that we have, which is to basically get in with the Sphinx twice and kind of dupe them a bit here with the Angel. But we can go 4, 5, 6, 7. We can do Slimebind and untap 1. So let's go ahead and do this, and I think we can trick them. They'll see the 1 untap we have, but they won't see the Slimebind we have. And I think between Slimebind... Oh, I have to play the high alert, though, to do that, right? So if we go high alert, that's 3. Then there's 4. So we can't untap and high alert. Did I just really screw us up? I don't think so. Let's see. Then we have to... Yeah, now I have to play the high alert or we're dead. Darn it, I screwed it up. Sorry. If I played high alert, this would be a lethal attack? Yeah, that's true, because of this ping. And the trouble is I needed to anyway, so now we're in deeper trouble. Well, the trouble is we can't Slimebind to stop lethal because if they attack with everything, one's got Menace, and so we have to like Slimebind the Menace or take it, and then block the other 2, and we don't have the means to block the other 2. We Slimebind the Thrall, and then we can't block the Wrecker and the Juggler. So I think I just punted this one pretty poorly. And yeah, Dionysus, I'm down with you. You can punt that. This is... so now the question is, how do we make them fear us? Darn it. Now we can't even threaten. I think we had it, and I definitely punted this one. Let's see. Now I'm just trying to figure out how we can deceive them. And I think it's best with high alert. Like, maybe with high alert, they don't do it. I mean, we're dead if they just attack with everything. So all I'm trying to do at this point is try and figure out what combination of cards might get them to not do the right thing. but they figured it out. Sorry, chat. No guarantee. That wasn't a guaranteed win anyway, but it was certainly, we just handed them the win instead of making them earn it. Yes, the right line was to attack with just the Sphinx, and classically, like, that was my line. That's kind of where I was at, and then I changed my line at the last minute based on faulty thinking. That is something that happens to me a lot. I don't know about you, but, like, I settle on a line, and then you can make a change based on what you think is correct thinking, and then it turns out you missed something. This isn't great, but with the essence capture and the admonitions, I'm actually going to keep. Anybody who had ideas for not to die there was probably not seeing the menace on one of those creatures. Do we return anything from our graveyard or make use of our graveyard in any way? I don't know if we should target them or us. There's a long shot that the game goes long enough that it matters, so I'll target them. But it's often correct to target yourself, and most people just auto-target Oppo. All right, we wanted exactly a white source, so happy to see that. And we'll make a Pegasus. Hopefully that stops the Orator, and then we can Essence Capture and make it a 2/4 flyer. Yeah, that was the other line that was legit. Either force the block on the Thrall or just attack with the 5/5. My line was not correct. We know that much. Okay, Ill-Gotten Inheritance is a little troubling to see, but we can get there. We just need Oppo to try and cast a creature next turn. Then we'll capture it and have something worth attacking with. That qualifies. We'll capture that. They're like, fine, we'll make a second one. All right, you have it. We could add Admonition here, but I like the Duelist Judgment combo we have. Yeah, I'll update the record, thanks. While torturing you with that noise, I'm also thinking about whether we're admonitioning here or not. We might need to, just to have the pressure. We might need to, just to have the pressure to... Except it's not going to be it's not going to pressure, it's going to come back down as a 1/3. I think we just actually have to let that one go. And the Orator might be more trouble for us than the Guild Mage, given we're trying to race an inheritance. But I think this is okay. We got to add admonition now, though, just to find additional pressure. We're not going to get there on a fairy duelist. We also need a land for this angel. That would help a bit. So there, now we have at least an angel, get a couple life, and have a real threat in the air. Really need this angel to survive. Hopefully at least for a turn, then we could potentially protect it with the admonition. Yeah, this is a good angel or zeal spot, although we're not even in that matchup anymore, so... Yeah, I'm going to save the admonition to protect the angel. Don't know if we can beat double inheritance here, but we're going to try. Oppo playing blanks like that help. Sneak, interesting. I was going to use the admonition on the orator, but now I think I'll wait. We have a sneak. And if they leave the orator back to block, then we can admonition to get it through. Okay, well, we can get our admonition through. Let's... Or sorry, get our sneak through admonition and Shieldbringer. And let's have them recast the 7. And we'll tap down this one.
All right, everyone, chill.
Thank you for the sub. We're trying. This is just impossible. Especially with them gaining some life back here off of this. Coming after my angel. Wow, they took life to do that. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Bode. Well, we get 2 points of damage and a Sky Guard. Okay. A little surprised by that one. But I suppose if they just kill everything we got, then they win the race. Is that what they're thinking? I don't see how we get there from here, especially now with a draw like that. I mean, we need straight gasoline the rest of the way. And now we have to, like, not attack because we need to chump and then judge. Yeah, we're just done on this one. Really? Tome has been... It's drawn him 1, 2, 3 cards? 4 card. I guess because I sent this back. If I hadn't bounced this, they would have gotten 4 cards off their 5 drop. That's not bad. I don't know. I think I just don't like this card. Hey, Mike. That's always your advice, Mike. Attack with everything, make it to the Pro Tour Hall of Fame. Mike Turian, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we know we have some use for Exposed to Daylight in this matchup, and it does work with the Acuity, which is nice. I think... we can take this deck. That deck was just whatever. It's hard to argue with your results, Mike, but I will argue with it always being correct. No, it's instant. So we can main phase it and get the goodness. So what are we doing, though? We got to cut 2 cards for that. We are at 12 creatures. They got a lot of removal, so the Watchdog makes sense here. Quench for Inheritance? No. We have Exposed to Daylight for Inheritance. We just need to figure out what we're taking out. And I kind of like this wall. Well, I got 32 seconds to figure out what else goes. High Alert actually seems important to erase those inheritances. We could cut 1 Admonition, yeah, but I just love it too much. I think we cut a Shimmer. I kind of didn't see the Shimmer. That makes sense to me. We'll do that. Humongous is not just bad when you have both High Alert and an opponent with 17 pieces of removal. We'll keep this. Panther is super annoying. Hopefully they have just no black mana for the rest of the game. That'd be fine. Cat beats dog here. That's rough. We needed land. Didn't find it. Could tether, not gonna. Okay. Very important third land achieved. And sneak or admonition. We'll play the sneak. Maybe we can find a way to get it through. If we find a land in High Alert, we can like protect it with the doggy. Uh-oh. Thirsting Shade has made an appearance. Now I have to win this match or quit streaming. No, it's not that bad. I think it's unplayable, like, quote, unplayable in the sense that I would never play it, but it attacks, it blocks. If you're low to the ground, black-white, and really want to connect or whatever, I guess you could do worse. I just don't see it as particularly playable. Insight here, nothing we can do gets the sneak through this time, so let's go ahead and Insight. We got to find some land. Oppo, let it resolve so we don't have to listen to that. Alright, found our 5th land. The Knight Arbiter does work on this battlefield until it gets removed, which is, of course, instant. We can expose that to Daylight. They only have 2 cards left, so maybe we just let them have this, but they cast 1 multicolored spell and they get their card back, and we do have the tools to get rid of it right now. I mean, I wouldn't do it for the Scry. Like, the Scry is nice, but we're not so desperate to change the top of our library that that's, like, the reason to do it. I would just do it now because then they don't draw a card, right? That's the main thing. So let's do it now for that. They'll make the Panther Death Touchy. Another sneak. When we can't get the first one through. Although if you have 2, you're more likely to be able to get one through. I just don't think we can justify it here. It's not getting through. This one's not getting through, and I don't think we're going to do much to get the other one through. We just want to get to more of our stuff that actually works in this situation. Alright, what do we want them to kill the most? Because we can assume, like, these aren't really something they need to remove. But let's play the Knight Arbiter. If we play a 5, we love the Arbiter, but we can protect it with a doggy, so we'll do that. I think dog is going down right here. Looks like they're itching to mortify. No? Or just activate Guild Mage? Ah, it was just activate Guild Mage, sure. That's fine. Could do worse than them spending their turns activating a Guild Mage right now. Alright. It is destroy, right? Just making sure I'm not wasting my dog. Here comes the Mortify backup. That's okay, we made him use... Oh no, not yet. Alright, so that lives for the turn anyway. Super flooded? They've got 6 land. That's not super flooded. We got 6 land. Are we super flooded? No doggy to save anything anymore. Let's start with the attack here. Well, who's the everyone, ZBD? Is Ben Stark playing Thirsting Shade? Ben Stark's playing Thirsting Shade. I'll reconsider my life choices on that front, but I haven't seen any player I respect running it. Not to say I'm disrespecting you, Oppo, just that I don't respect this card and I don't know you as a player, so I can't speak to their, or what they're playing it over, Yeah, I don't like it at all. Let's go ahead and... Now I'm going to make the Angel. I think Skyguard is probably our most valuable remaining creature, but Angel attacks for 3 as well. Let's attack with this one and make them come up with an answer. Still looking for sneak attacks, but I don't see one here, so just the unblockables will do. Oppo has 3 cards and a ton of mana. Maybe they're just on the Guildmage plan, but I'm, again, kind of expecting something removal-y here. We saw so much of it from them last game. We saw 2 final payments, although am I conflating all of my opponents? This is not the double Mortify opponent, right? That was previous one. Oh, I don't want to end my turn. I want to make another threat. Obviously, no problems with Oppo being on the Activate Guildmage plan from here. All right. Trying to crawl back into this and salvage some gems after punting my chance at match 1. I guess they are on the play now. I think I want to bring back the wall and actually cut the Angel. Get a little closer to the ground. Not 100% sure about that one, because we do need the 3 powered flyers to race their inheritance and that kind of thing, but we put in 2 enchantment removal to try and deal with that. And they're going low enough to the ground with their early plays that I felt the wall coming back in felt better than a 6-drop. That looks good. Oppo had to mole. I'm going to play basic land wall. Again, I don't think it's going to come down to this, but I will mill them in case it does. And I didn't see too much in the way of graveyard stuff. Or maybe it was. Maybe this is the double Mortify. Double Mortify, double final? I don't know. They got a lot of removal over there. If we'd drawn one of our sneaks, that would have been nice and we would have held the gate. But now with no real play to make here, I'm going to go ahead and gate it. Maybe we'll play Inheritance to the old empty board. It's the Shade. Well, it can attack into the Wall of Lost Thoughts. It's still not very intimidating, and I'm not going to use removal on it. Nothing to slime bind, so pass it back. Looks like they're stuck on 3. There, they got their 4th. Maybe inheritance comes down now. All right, I was hoping for that because we can expose it. Do that. Watchdog, again, good against all this removal. We'll keep it. Do we want to put our turn off a cycle in order to Watchdog and Protect? I'm going to say no because we have the Skyguard. Let's at least start with the Chillbringer and see if this elicits removal from Oppo.
All right, everyone, chill.
All right, no removal for the Chillbringer, so we'll go ahead and play the Skyguard with no dog protection. And if they find or had removal and just didn't play it, they get to choose. They get the Skyguard, but then we hopefully get to play the dog and protect the Chillbringer. Oh no, both of them? No, they're not rolling over the Sky. Oh, now they are. Skyguard dead. Man. You weren't supposed to have 2 removal spells. Really don't want to lose to this deck. It's not a good deck. It's got very good removal, but I don't like the plan. Plan is working now, though. Thought one of our 3/3s would be around to protect. Didn't count on the double removal problem. Starting to feel a little dejected about this one. About to lose to a Thirsting Shade deck. Not that this was the best deck we've ever drafted or anything, but... Oh, stop it. Not the best here. Oh, I don't like that they're playing things like Thirsting Shade. I mean, the removal is tons of great removal is fine. Mainly, I guess it's really just the Thirsting Shade and some of the play lines. Like, I don't like the Night of Last Breath and the Thirsting Shade or the Undercity's Embrace, this kind of card. I don't see how you keep that in against us. It's just not an effective card, really. But what is an effective card? Again, the Sneak's not even getting through. We draw a gate. We don't have a gate to draw, so I'm going to get rid of the Sneak. I don't think we have the gasoline to win from here unless we get the Sphinx of Foresight very soon. Or some combination of... Oh, wait, hold on a second. Didn't I take out the Angel? Did we put it back in? I thought I took... Did I... I'm seeing Archway Angel in my deck, according to that. Well, not according to my... Oh, so basically this game inspector thing I have is not didn't update for sideboarding. Okay, that's good to know. So this is a lie. I'm being lied at by my HUD right now. This other app. But yeah, we need a 4/4 flyer like nowish. That ain't gonna do it. Probably gonna have to tether the Pegasus just so we can tread water here. Or not, because they've got the Guild Mage. Timas still believes. But yeah, we need High Alert and Night Arbiter or the 4/4 flyer, or I think we're just gonna lose this one all slow and painful like. Oh, is it that, Thomas? How you doing, man? Yes, sir. Got some updates to make. I'm going to take my cube over to Adam's house this coming weekend and play some cube there. Looks like TMOS81 is Thomas, who will be joining us. Trying to decide if we're like even slime binding here to... Nah, we just need bigger solutions to this situation than slime binding the Panther, so let's see if we find them. Like, that's okay, but really I need to get this Syndicate Guild Mage with that. We'll do that at end of turn. Vintage. We're just still super dead, unfortunately. Let's see. I don't know if we get a 4/4 flyer and it is not stopped, and we slime bind with this Panther, which I think we have to do now. They should attack with a Shade, though. Now they actually have the ability to make the Shade relevant, and they're not attacking with it. Can you figure it out? No, not quite. We could draw our other sideboard card and remove the Ill-Gotten. Then we have all the time in the world to try and mount a comeback. That'd be a good draw. Island, not. Island, actively terrible draw. That's a good way to put it, Dionysus. I'm not saying their deck is terrible. I think Thirsting Shade is terrible, but their deck is not terrible. But the deck and player both seem very beatable, and we're just not finding a way to do it. Frustrating. Yeah, we did. We exposed one, but we have another. We have another expose in here somewhere. I could have saved that, but I don't know why we'd want to do that. All right, that's not the worst, not the worst. Give us a little help, please. Now we gotta leave that back. Hopefully they try to cast a creature. To do that, I'm going to do this block. Then we get the lifelink here. We can't go to 5 or else we go to 4 and then 0. We've got tools, but we can't find them. This is my worst day in Magic ever. I'm being attacked by successfully by a 4/4 Thirsting Shade. RIP Magic career. We don't even have any gate to make it unblockable, so yeah, we'll just chump. Oh, we're way in the game. If we draw an expose, we could find our second expose in the last 5 draws, and we'd be so in this game. Seriously, I might have to go take a 10-minute nap before playing again after losing to this shade nonsense. Right there, if we drew it right there, we're still in it. We're still in it right there if we draw instant enchantment removal, destroy this, gain another, bounce this, and go to 10. Like, we were actually still in it. Let us never speak of this again. There we go. Let's do that.